Hello everyone, today I will tell you about the latest news in Los Angeles in California, USA. Let's give this Fox News. It's the James Woods and the Ripes and the Black Rises idea turns the nerve south after losing in the home on wildfire. Let's go to watching.
Get back to this press conference in
Oh my
Pasadena
God.
as it
And the right opinion comments.
warrants. But no one has been spared from this inferno, including celebrities like James Woods.
Standing in my driveway getting ready to evacuate. We've got a lot of planes going over, dropping water, but
It's so
James Woods joins
unreal. It's a so very bad situation today.
me now. James, you posted a video
Oh my gosh.
that I watched last night. I think it's right after you posted it, coming right up to your deck. We're
Right.
watching it now. I'm so sorry for everything you and all of your friends and all the residents of California are going through tonight. Do you know what's happened to your home since?
it's it, it's astonishing that what happened during this experience was that we found out that none of us is a celebrity, none of us is a poor person or a rich person, a Democrat or a Republican. We were just neighbors, just really helping each other. That one video was my neighbor who, after we had evacuated, before he evacuated, ran down to my house to try to stop that fire coming over my deck because he saw it from his deck. I mean, amazing. A fellow named Robert Trinkteller. It was as devastating as it was an extraordinary experience of realizing
gosh.
how essential good neighbors, good friends, good relatives. I've had people call me. I did a movie with Walter Goggins, a wonderful
Horrible situation today.
actor, years ago. I talked to him once or twice. I just got a call, a long text from him. Here's my address. The keys are in the car. I'm out of town. Use our house. Here's all the codes. I mean, people offering us their homes and so on. And that's my beautiful home there. Was my beautiful home. All I know now from him, he stayed overnight, which he shouldn't have done, but he did, fighting the fire. There was no water pressure, of course. All the fire hydrants were dead, as we now know. The fire trucks are there, but they couldn't pump water, as it turned out. He fought the fire himself of his house with a bucket in the pool. And this morning texted me and said, look, I had 3 hours sleep. I just got up. The houses on either side of you have burned down. Every house across the street from you is burned down, but I can see your roof. Now, I have a wooden house with wooden beams. If you can see my roof, it may be gutted. It may be, we don't know. And all we know is that at midnight, when the trucks were there, all the fire alarms were going off in our house remotely to our phones. Sarah and I were both getting, hallway monitor is on, bedroom monitor is on. It was as if you could, track the fire as it was going through your house. But it could have been the smoke from the houses next door.
He's in a simple situation. It's so very bad.
I don't know. So it's possible. I don't think it's very likely, but it's possible our one house is standing, even though all our wonderful neighbors and every one of them is a friend and been wonderful to us and us, I hope, to them.
James,
It's
James,
a little paradise in the hills.
Your comments about neighbors being critically important, and so oftentimes now in our busy lives, we don't even know our neighbors, or people cocoon themselves and don't. But I think your point at such a time of great tragedy is one that we should all take in tonight. Get to know the people around you. Get to know them.
Well, there are people who will probably say, "Oh, you sound like you're, doing a Hallmark movie, talking about the love of your neighbors." Well, next door to us, the house below us, and I think you have a video right where that fire is. The house next to us, right to the right of that tree. In fact, that tree's on his property, believe it or not, is a 94-year-old gentleman who has advanced dementia. He has a caregiver. He was in the hospital, so thank God he wasn't there during the fire, we thought. We get down the hill after
It's a really bad situation. Oh my god.
we evacuate. Robert was still up the hill. We get down the hill, and I said to Sarah, you know, we've got to call Francis, his son, who lives in, I think he's a professor at Harvard or something, and just make sure his dad isn't in the house. I think he's in the hospital. I'm pretty sure. We called, and he said, what's going on? I said, well, you know, there's a fire in the Palisades. He said, oh, no, I've been in a meeting. This is right at the beginning, because we were at the epicenter of the beginning of the fire. And I said, you know, your dad's in the hospital, right? He goes, no, he's in the house with a new caregiver. I don't know who they are. Well, it turns out what happened was I called 911. I finally got through to somebody, the fire department. That's the house right there. That's his house. And we could look down into his window. And I got someone in the fire department. I said, look, this 94-year-old guy with dementia, he doesn't even know that you've got to get to that house. We'll get there. We'll get there. So Robert went down. It turned out, he said, no, there's nobody there. And he said, the front door's open. It turned out later that the fire department had said to the caregiver, who was new and not from this country and probably a little afraid of authority, and I say that kindly, you know, they said, you must evacuate. We will come back for him. Don't worry. And they either forgot or they hadn't gotten there yet.
Oh my goodness.
So Robert went in the house. He said, there's nobody here. I said, you know, they keep him in a little room that used to be the so-called
Very important.
maid's room. It's around the kitchen. I've been in the house because he used to fall out of his chair and we'd go over.
So
and
did they get
help.
him out, James?
They got him out and the house burned down an hour later.
Oh my.
I mean, so
I mean, there are probably so many stories like that. I mean, that we're going to hear thousands of stories of people who are elderly, alone, might live alone, trying to save their pets, go back in.
Oh yeah, his son was he was out of his mind. Got here. He said, we don't even know how to find him because he's at the hospital. He doesn't know his name. He just found him. We found him about an hour ago.
James, I want to ask you about something that when you said last night, we couldn't get any water. There was no water at the hydrants.
Yeah.
A lot has been discussed today about why that is. We're going to get into a little bit more of that in the next segment. But you guys pay, I think, the highest taxes in the United States. If not, you and New York are kind of tied, or Illinois, but among the highest. No water in the hydrants. 17.6 million cut from the fire department. Karen Bass, a recent headline, I think you might have tweeted that out from the New York Post.
Yeah. And our new fire chief, you know, has, and by the way, LA Fire Department is fantastic. The people, it's like the people who work for the federal government, so many of us are good people, you know, but
it's a terrible situation.
The people in charge, she took over and she put on her bio that her priority, my highest priority, is inclusion, diversity, and equity. That is my priority. And somebody forgot to fill all the reservoirs, I guess, with water, because when I was getting smoke alarms, there was a fire truck parked in front of my house, but they couldn't pump any water because there was none, because they didn't put them in the reservoirs. Okay? And they were busy cutting, you know, look, it's the same we had with all the crime we have in our neighborhood, in Los Angeles, when we had that idiot Gascon. You know, they just didn't care. Everybody was running loose. They were smashing places. You couldn't walk down the street.
A return to competent leadership. This may be a wake-up call. We're not trying to make this political, but when you can't get water and your homes are burning and you have people trapped in their homes who don't have the ability to walk out, that's a problem. That's a real problem that has to be solved. So, James, I'm glad you were, I think you were the first one to actually put that out there last night.
Laura, with all due respect, if it is true that things were handled this way, if it is true that Gavin Newsom is the absolute blithering idiot that I believe he is in the way he has handled fire management in this state again and again and again and again, this isn't a wake-up call. This is the kind of thing they have tribunals for, where they try people and say, you had an oath of office to perform certain duties. When you're the fire chief, this isn't a social justice exercise that you're in charge of. This is you getting water to areas that need water because there are fires in 100-mile-an-hour winds burning houses to the ground. I watched.
Oh my God. Oh, of course.
On a Ring camera, a guy have to sit and watch his pet burn to death. You know, those things are issues of the heart when you watch a cherished little pet. Or, you know, look, my home is a building. It was our, we worked 3 years putting the home together. We loved our little house, but it means nothing compared to the 5 people who lost their lives. So
James,
the wake-up call.
Yeah, I hear you. And again, we're going to learn a lot more about this, but we know a lot already. And we're going to get into some of this next segment. Not all was kumbaya out there today. Specifically, one individual who goes by @PiperK on Twitter, on X, I guess a former faculty member at Mizzou.
Oh my God.
Karen Piper, she tweeted, and she since deleted the tweet, James Woods' house is burning down. It's karma calling. Retired prof.
Yeah.
University.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's, you know, when I read that, I look for a curb so that I can find some place to scrape her off my shoe. I'm more concerned about my neighbors and their homes that they lost. I don't really care what she has to say.
Yeah.
She means nothing to me. She is to me a fleck of spit on the arc of infinity.
Well, it's that anyone would think any of that about anyone. And
It's an incredible situation. What is see this video is not subscribe my channel. Please subscribe and write your opinion in the comments this videos. And I go make new.
a moment like this, especially someone who suffered such a loss and whose neighbors have suffered everything. Like when you're driving down the PCH now, and a lot of the videos from last night and continuing today, James, I lived in California on and off. I couldn't stop watching this. I was like, wait a second, is that where the Reel Inn is? You know, the old Reel Inn on the PCH? Gone. You know, restaurants, gone.
I'll give you an example
Homes
of that
gone.
area. There's a little restaurant there, and they have a billboard, and in chalk every day, as you go by, they'll have some joke about fish with a saying. It's very funny. Sarah takes pictures of them every day for her Instagram and so on. It's just a charming little kind of surfer shack, you know, from another time. You know, you were showing a little area in the Palisades by the village there, and it was a little square. I don't know if you recall it just a few moments ago. On the 4th of July in the Palisades, everybody would have folding chairs that would be set out with their names on them, and would have a little 4th of July parade. Everybody had flags. It was like America at its best. You know, nobody.
It's a terrible situation.
Care whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or black or white or green or yellow or gay or straight. It was people celebrating the 4th of July in a beautiful little neighborhood with sidewalks, and you feel safe, and there's no tents and needles and crap. And
really, you're so right.
Know, it is paradise.
James, the devastation
Paradise
is going
lost.
to be. I can't even. It's beyond comprehension right now. But thank you for reminding us what matters: our family, our faith, our first responders, the heroes among them, our neighbors. Be a neighbor, James. That is not Hallmark. That is.
Oh my God, it's so serious moments. Wait in the make situation in the California, Los Angeles.
The truth, and you taught us all something tonight, and reminded us all of something we should already know. God.
It's all today. Write your opinion in the comments and subscribe me.
I'm so honored to be on your show, Laura. I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So very bad situation in California.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
And write your opinion. Bye-bye. And see my previous videos.